last date about last events in the east of Ukraine. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. The circumstances or the situation in the east has a trend to aggravation. Terrorist shell positions of our military and our defenders fight back, and they hold efforts of militants practically in all the directions. In ATO area, we observe regrouping and accumulation of additional capabilities of the enemy, additional to small arms and mortars. Militants used many times artillery system and system Grad, rocket system Grad and tanks. At the same time, after the midnight until the morning in the conflict area, there was some calm time. Near new terminal in Donetsk airport, there was a fight between militants and Ukrainian armed forces. And the attack was fought back, and the new terminal is under the control of Ukrainian armed forces. Not far from Sartana in Donetsk region, Ukrainian military men observed 3 drones. Despite shelling and intensive fire, we have no losses. 2 soldiers were wounded. Ukrainian border guards strengthened the mode of the control of separation area. There are only 7 corridors one can get in and out. They are on the map. To enter or leave the ATO, citizens should receive special pass, special credential. In order to get it, you need to provide the following documents: an application with the route and how long you would be in ATO area, passport or copy, and a copy of the document which explains the necessity to travel to that territory. Examples of such documents: there should be a registration mark about the living, about the place where your relatives are buried in ATO area, and documents about the disease of relatives, and also a document from the place of work. These documents could be provided right away at on the passing point, checkpoint, and this regime will concerns only adults, starting with 18 years old. Because of shelling upon the positions of ATO near Donetsk airport and Pisk and Mariinka, in order to defend, protect civilians, the headquarters decided to stop, not to allow people and transportation means to the following roads: Donetsk, Kurakhove, from 1720, and Donetsk, Mariupol from 1910. On checkpoint Shans in Luhansk region, our Burgas, during the checking a microbus, they found 2 devices to shoot with rubber bullets and 174 cartridges for them. They also found a bullet-proof jacket and ID provided by Ukrainian Fund to support national security in Luhansk region. Ukrainian patriots continue to support ATO. And from Volyn, the Volyn region, they sent 2 kilometers and 2 optical sites, and together with the cargo charity organizations sent books and pictures of children from the bus. Also, Ukrainian volunteers provided to ATO means of masking several sets of nets, masking sets, and defense to defend to hide equipment in winter. Young volunteers organized concerts to collect to raise money to buy winter uniform for participants of ATO. And among NATO forces, there is rotation at night. On the 10th of January, one more unit of police from Chernihiv region moved to the east of Ukraine. Before they were sent, and they were provided with food and winter clothing and Moskin sets. Our volunteers support this police unit. This is it, and please your questions.
STB channel, two questions. The first one is, what is the situation near Mariupol? And second, Pashinsky has just stated that there are more militants than Ukrainian soldiers in the east. What's happening right now, I'm not ready to tell you, including your question about Mariupol. During 24 hours, you see along this whole line of separation, during the last 24 hours, there were registered 63 shellings, 18 settlements, and the airport Donetsk. So to separate Mariupol from other territories would be wrong. Andriy Kazakov, Ukraine channel. The first question is about Donetsk. People are saying that there are very active warfare going on in Donetsk. In Donetsk itself, in Donetsk airport, there are shellings and there are attempts to attack, and the attack was successfully repelled yesterday. Again, I would like to emphasize the airport is under our control. The militants are attacking. And the second question is about roads. The roads which were connecting Donetsk region with the area which is under control of the militants, that such roads were closed completely, that there was some special regime before. There are 7 roads where there are pass points. These pass points are equipped with electronic systems where there are the database. If people have the certificates or the ID cards or the passports, they can cross this line according to the special procedure. There are 4 places where you can submit your application about crossing these passing points or transporting some cargoes. If there is a suspicion that there is a threat at these pass points, then the pass points are closed. You need to understand that Ukrainian authorities are doing everything to protect our citizens, and that is why people have to understand why there are these difficulties with crossing the pass points. Information agency Velostrov. It's about new rules of getting to ATO zone. So basically people can enter the zone only having a pass which is takes 10 days to issue. So where should I live during 10 days? Where should I stay during 10 days waiting for the pass? Also, the grounds for me to go to ATO zone could be a certificate about the relatives that were killed. For example, how can I get such a certificate if I live in Donetsk and my relative is in some other area? Who can give me this certificate? How can I get this certificate? Yes, there are many questions similar to that, not just about those who die or are killed. to cross the pass point, you do not obligatory need to have this certificate, because we understand that on the territory which is under the control of the militants, you cannot get the certificates, though the hospitals which operate and which have the permit to issue such certificates, they can send this certificate by fax, or if you need to get there, you can easily cross the pass point, showing all the necessary documents. 10 days, that is the time frame during which they have to give you an answer obligatory, whether you can cross or you cannot cross. It doesn't mean that you have to wait for 10 days. There are phone numbers, email address, different contacts. So in advance, you can ask what you need to cross this pass point. We understand that that means certain difficulties for the movement of our citizens, but this is all done for the safety and security of our citizens. So you need to understand that it doesn't mean that the crossing is completely blocked and closed. We just make it more difficult for the subversive groups to get to the territory of Ukraine and to bring some armaments or something, or explosives to the territory of Ukraine. For how long is this regime set? Is it for the whole period of ATO operation till we have the danger these pass points will be operating? Do you have any other questions to Colonel Lysenko? Thank you. The